This video tutorial demonstrates how to respond to a teaching call using IPA. You may receive an email which looks something like this. It comes from IPA. It says that the department is requesting my teaching preferences for some academic year and it wants me to follow the given link. So I'll just go ahead and click this link. And here we see IPA's interface. You may have to log in through the familiar CAS interface. In this case, I was already logged in. There's a couple of important pieces of information here. We can see the academic year in question. We can see the name of the department. In my case, my department is DSSIT. We can see this empty table here called Teaching Preferences. You may or may not see this grid asking about unavailabilities, and then scrolling down at the bottom of the form we have a comments area. On the right we have the various terms, and I can click to actually select different terms. This list may be different for you. It depends on what your department is asking about. And then finally there's this review box that just kind of shows us which parts of the form we've filled out. So let's just get straight to it. I'm going to click this Add Preference button. Remember, we're in 2018-19 for the DSSIT department fall quarter, so make sure you're in the right department if you're in multiple departments. I'll click Add Preference and this drop down will open. I see a couple of options here, sort of standard options: buyout, course release, sabbatical. And then I also see a list of courses. Now this list of courses are the ones that my department has already inputted into IPA as the courses that we are offering. So I'll go ahead and select a few. As I click each one, you'll see a row appears in the table and the Add Preference button kind of gets bumped down. So I'll click it again. I'll add a few more, and that looks good to me. A couple of pieces of information here. You'll see the seats. This is the projected seats for this course, so I can get a good idea of how large this course is, how many students are going to be in the course. I can indicate my priorities here. So for instance, ECS 20 Discrete Math for Computer Science is actually my #1 choice, so I'm going to use these arrows to move it up to the top here. And then we have these remove buttons, which are convenient because I didn't mean to add ECS 12 media computation. So I'll click remove, and yes, I do mean to remove it. And that looks good to me, so I'm going to go down to the unavailabilities area. You'll see here we have hours on the y-axis, and on the x we have days, Monday through Friday, so this is just a repeating weekly calendar, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. So if you just click and hold, you can kind of paint this grid to indicate when you're not available. So in this case I've indicated I'm not available at the 7 a.m. hour any day of the week. And then because I'd like to be home by 8 p.m., I'm just going to go ahead and indicate that I'm not available after 8 p.m. as well. So that looks good to me. And finally, down here in the comments box, I can leave any comments. This is particularly useful for anything the form doesn't capture. Also, if you're going to be suggesting a course that didn't appear on that course list, this is a great place for that. So I'd like to teach the upcoming ECS 101 course. ECS 101 in this case just being any old course that wasn't on that list up top. So this form is looking pretty good to me. Of course we're just talking about fall quarter here, so if I go ahead and click winter quarter, you'll see the form is blank with the exception of comments, and I have to fill it out again. So since I think everyone watching understands how to fill out this form, I'm not going to go ahead and do that. You will see I have to do it again for spring, and if I click back to fall, here's everything I filled out for fall. Very helpfully, this review section is letting me know what I've done, so I've indicated preferences for fall, but not for winter and spring. But this is looking good, so I'm going to go ahead and hit the submit button. It says, "Are you sure?" and I'll say yes. And at the top it says preferences saved, so I'm actually done. If I'm happy with this, I can just close out this window and go about my day. I do want to show you one more thing. If we close out and go back to this email and click the link again, you'll see IPA has all of my information stored, and I can continue to edit this form. So I'm until your department closes out the teaching call or until they start confirming your preferences, you can go back and edit the form even though we've already submitted it.